people you ride past, people look in your car, mug you and stuff. I don't even look at the cop. I just look straight ahead because I don't want to give him any type of reason to stop me and pull me over. And so I started developing this feeling about white people. You know, last night as I was coming out of Provis, this tall white man walked past me. And as we was walking past one another, you know how you don't say nothing, but you get a feeling. It's just a feeling. And this feeling was like, you know, he was looking at me and I was looking at him, and it looked like we both just checking each other out, you know, feeling on each other. And I had, you know, thoughts started running through my mind. That man looked tall and he looked like an old Klan member. Let me hurry up and get up out of here. And I started dealing with these thoughts of fear. And I started dealing with thoughts of hatred. Because I remember years ago when I was working on a job, it was a white man that I was working with. Never had any problem with him, but he had a problem with me. And he called me a dumb nigger. That was the first time I had ever been called a nigger by a white man. And I was like, Lord, you know, I know the word says to love. And so I was looking at a program that Oprah was on. She was talking to this man named John God. He's a healer. And she asked him, well, what is God? What is God? He didn't go through all these different reasons, you know, blah, 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 blah. He just said one word, love. Love. So each time those thoughts come across my mind about how I want to feel this way, or when I look at something and I think about what's going on, or I want to put myself in that place of a victim, or I feel like, oh Lord, you know, I don't want no cops stopping up behind me, or I just remind myself, love, love, God is love, God is love. And like you said, it changes the very thought and atmosphere of your own being. Because I realized that, you know, with all this that's going on, if you continue to feed into the negativity, then it will only produce more negative results. So it's like, and I had asked, and I remember this was so good. I remember as I was leaving work, I said, God, how can us as young men, you know, be saved? How can we stay clean? And the scripture came to me. It says, Psalm 119, this is how, paraphrasing, this is how a young man shall clean his ways. And for me, I can't speak for nobody else. I feel like I have to go along with what I read in scripture that's positive to help me along the way. I have to continue to say to myself words that are positive so that I won't get off on the wrong track, because it's so easy to do. It's so easy to get caught up in all the drama, because that's all it is. You said it. We are all one, but even though we're all one, there's still healing that needs to go on in this. There's still healing, there's truth that needs to be told, there's apologies that need to be made, and nobody wants to come together and say, look, you know what, we messed up.
Can I ask a question? Just a question. Has anybody ever had this thought that say, God, I hate you? You got this one side that you love the Lord, but then you have this other thing that says, I hate you for what you did.
I could give a testimony. No, I've never said that.
Right, and a lot of people say that, but I mean, because, and you know, because we were talking about Jay's on the couch. I guess it's a therapeutic session for me. But what I'm saying is that, you know, when I say that what this feeling that I have is because that's what generates it. Is that I feel the power of God, I feel the love of God, but I still hate you for what you did.
For what you did, and what you did is, well, what did God do? And I'm going to say this. You asked a question, you asked him a question. A lot of times those questions are very deep questions, But when we answer quickly, we get what's up at the top of our heads.
Right.
We're not really going in what's really there.
Internalize
You
it.
asked the question, you asked that question of all of us, have we ever said, I hate you, God? Right up the bat, we're going to tell you no. Right off the bat, we're going to tell you no. Okay? But if we really sit back and think,
All right, Mother.
and really start digging, we might not have said, God, I hate you. I'm angry with you.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I'm disappointed
We say a whole
about
lot
this
of stuff.
thing.
But
I never said hate.
And when he asked you that question about, what you asked
a
him
lot of
question?
things.
Doubt.
I'm not
Doubt.
quite.
And I wanted to say so bad to you, don't answer that question right now,
Mhm.
because you're going to give a head answer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's a question you got to really get quiet with. Somebody said, no quiet time, get quiet and start thinking, what is it that I doubt you about, God? That's when it goes back to, Lord, I believe, but help my unbelief. Help that part of me that's doubting. Yeah, we all have doubts about our belief. How many of us would be so willing to say, yeah, God, I doubt you? And how many of us would to tell somebody else, God already know. That's why it's like we got to be truthful. We were talking about being truthful in the internet, because we got to remember God already knows.
Yes.
Right.
If we say He knows everything, He already knows
Already.
what our inner thoughts
Yes.
and feelings are. He said, okay, I already know how you feel about me. I'm waiting for you to come out and acknowledge it.
Yes.
now.
Yes.
You know, you putting up all this front
be
and all
honest.
this, but I know deep down inside, guess what? It's going to come out.
It's gone. Yes.
It's going to come out, and it may come out in a way you really don't want it to come out. So those are
I'm
questions.
so glad
again
that we're
to,
having this type of talk, because, you know, it's being transparent and it's being vulnerable. But 9 times out of 10, we're talking about leadership. You won't find that in leadership, because leaders, from what I've seen, will not allow themselves
to be
To be
transparent, vulnerable, and open,
Mm-hmm.
for the simple fact of a reputation.
Yeah.
I have a name.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've built this empire up for myself. But it's only when we are vulnerable, because I was always afraid of being open to people, because it goes back to my childhood,
Mhm.
of when my family would criticize me.
Mhm.
Oh, you don't know that? You just dumb and stupid.
Yeah.
Why you don't know that? And I grew up with those thoughts, so lots of times I wouldn't say stuff because I didn't want to hear again. You
Mhm.
just dumb and stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I never forget one day I asked the pastor. I said, if heaven is free of sin, and no sin can dwell where God is, I said, well, where did sin come from? I was just asking an honest question.
Yeah.
And I mean, this woman jumped all over me. You don't ask no questions like that.
Really?
There's just certain things you don't ask. Sometimes you just need to leave stuff alone. Just shut up about that stuff. Told me I was in the left field.
She didn't know about the
And,
sin
and
nature.
we are always told, you don't question God.
Yeah, we were
You don't question God. You don't question God about what's going on in your life. You're just supposed to accept it. And when we grow up being dysfunctional,
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what
and
happens.
we pass it on because we didn't take the time to question. And I've learned there's nothing wrong with questioning God. There's nothing wrong with me to ask, why am I having a hard time forgiving so-and-so? Why am I having a hard time with forgiveness? Why am I having a hard time learning to accept intimacy? And lots of times what I've learned for myself, it goes back to my childhood.
Yes, it does.
It goes back to my childhood. And I've learned that lots of times we don't want to deal with those things because, yes, they're painful, but their healing always has pain. If you scratch yourself, if you cut yourself, it's going to hurt.
It's going to hurt.
But it's going to
Heal.
You know, we think that healing doesn't hurt, but healing does hurt. You got to get all that mess out. That's the process.
I think a lot of what we're saying now with our young people comes from just that. They have not been able to be heard. You know, we're told don't question God, and then so they got turned off. And so now we're seeing the second and third generation of those people dealing with hurts that they never really knew they had because they couldn't question it. And I think that's why, because there's a lot of craziness that's out there. I mean.